Welcome, Bærekraftig facilitation here. So we want to get under some of the
Or
things that disrupt your facilitation. Thank you for that beautiful worked example. Do you have a slurper on a call who refuses to go on mute, or someone who eats an apple like that? What happened? What's disrupted some things you've been in, Svenari?
I once had a story. We're doing a value stream mapping. One of the participants walked in and saw chairs lined up, and he shouted loud and clear, "I'm not going to sitting in AA circle like this." Turned around, stormed out, left the room in kind of a chaos.
I've had people walk out before, and sorry, I should say with a serious face. I've had people walk out before, and I've had to go after them and try and listen to why, and try and explain the purpose and give them the option. Say, well, I understand why you've walked out. This is what the purpose of the meeting is. We think you've got some valuable stuff to give, but if you need to be somewhere else, I trust you to make the right decision. And then they ended up coming back in, which was fine. I remember one academic who get out my facilitation kit. There's maybe something fun that you have around to play with on the table, or and they saw a pile of post-it notes and said, I come into work. This is not a primary school. I'm not engaging in these reductive exercises.
So what you do, and these stories we could recognize. Do you have a something that have infected you more?
There was one I was at last week, and it was facilitated by someone else. I was a participant, and it was this kind of open forum. It was advertised, and people could drop in. And it was about facilitation. It was about sharing knowledge about facilitation. And halfway through this, there was this message on chat saying, I have a statement I would like to make from this participant who'd be there. And the facilitator said, oh, I think this participant wants to make a statement, so let's let them come in. I think they've got something to add. And to this person, no camera, they came off mute, and they said, hello, my name is such and such. I live in this part of the world and I'm being oppressed. Where I live, there are bombs falling around me every day. Something has to change. And I was like, oh, someone's interrupted the meeting. It's been a disruption. What's going to happen now? And then I was like, that's terrible. And I was like, what would I do? And of course, everyone else was just watching these facilitators. This person says, because they're kind of empathetic types. And I think this chap was used to being kicked out of the calls by this point, because he went around the story again and said, my name is such and such. I live in this place, and the bombs are falling every day now, and it is awful. And I was like, what's going to happen? And then the facilitator who was leading it, she stepped in and she said, and she handled it beautifully. She said, thank you for being brave enough to share your story with us. If you've heard that story, you may want to do something about that. And you could write to your local politician to ask them to investigate that in that area. And I'd invite you to do that if that's something that you'd be interested in, if there's a cause there that you care passionately about too. So let's move on and see where else the meeting can take us. And that way that she handled it was just perfect, Svenari.
Wow, that is quite a story. And the question for us is, so what do you do when disruptions like that crash onto your seminar or your session or whatever? Is there a practical takeout we can do? This speaks to social context. There's something around the social context that disrupts.
So can you write on the back of a post-it note, Svenari, what to do when a disruptor comes into your room?
No, I can't, because I tend to act on instinct. That's my MO. And maybe you could practice, maybe you could pre-think situations and have a go-to sentence or a go-to reaction. So share with us, please, your disruption stories and what did you do? I know we all have them. And by sharing, we could share insights that will bring our facilitation further on.